Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo and welcome to Weekly Tips. We'll put some sense in your tip jar. Welcome today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and we're going to be drawing the otter. So let's swim on into this and draw the otter. So yeah, once I've kind of gathered my research here, gathered all my references of the otter, I then go into doing a side view of the otter. This is because it's a simple view, it kind of lays everything flat for you. There's no kind of proportional things that you have to worry about here with the side view. That's why I go for the side view usually. And it does, break down the animal usually. You can start off at other angles if you like, front view. Here for me, I chose more of a kind of three-quarter side view, just because I couldn't find any images that did have, with the side view, that did have enough detail for me to go on, because most of these kind of side views that I did find, its legs were kind of covered up a little bit or something like that. There are a few other side view images, but I thought this was kind of a good point to start off with. Kind of detailed his legs enough for me to deal with them. I feel like that was the most challenging part for these otters, is their feet. Starting off with their feet, it is a challenging part for me. It might not be for you, so you might find an image that may deal with something that else that is challenging for you. It could be their body features that they have, their head features, those kind of things. I edit it as I go as well. If I do see things that don't look quite right, even after I've drawn it in another angle, I might come back and edit one of my other images because I see that something doesn't look right. So I edit as I go. It's not just that drawing's there, and I'm finished with it. It's an understanding. I have to really understand the animal, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to understand what goes into an otter, the parts of the otter, and yeah, here you can see me really struggling at doing a front view. I'm trying to draw it and just trying to get it right, and it is challenging, especially just drawing in um, you know, in Photoshop like this, where if you painted it, you'd see a lot more different details that make it look completely right. With drawing, you've got lines and things, and it may not all make sense until you put it all together. So just jotting down details is the most important part, and trying to get it kind of understanding it is the most important part. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to understand the forms of this kind of otter that is kind of sleek, but they do have a little bit of a chubbiness to them, and you can slowly see me getting better at drawing this view, and I do edit it again and again. I may go back and re-edit this drawing if I ever have to, or redraw it, at another angle like this, just to get a little bit more understanding about how this creature works. And then, go into kind of a side view that is more dynamic. And that's another thing, some of these views that I did have some side views. There were side views, but they were a little dynamic. There was something going on, like here he's kind of running, kind of a thing. It looks like he's about to pounce. So there's a little bit more kind of body movement going on with the otter. So I do have to kind of, you want to understand the animal first before kind of applying movement or anything like that. Whereas the first pose that I went for, he's kind of standing still, everything's static, and I just can observe, and then I can, once I've observed him, I then can apply his posing and things like that from there. And I do it again, I do another little interesting pose from here. Um, that's more of a three-quarter kind of front view kind of a thing um, going on. Yeah, so and that was lots of fun to do that one too. This I felt was a cute kind of a pose that you might see at the zoo them doing. So yeah, he's relaxed. There's not so much action going on, but it doesn't make it less difficult because there's less action. You know, so it is still a challenging pose, but once you understand, you know, the creature and its body shape and body type and um, all those forms that go into this animal, it helps you better understand um, what's going on when you do draw it in interesting and fun little poses like this. So yeah, that's been me during the Otter pretty much. Hopefully, just finishing off the little parts of this, and you know, sometimes you hit good points, and sometimes they are, you know, they don't. Some of these drawings aren't too great, but they are kind of not for sale per se. Um, they're not for being the best work out there. These drawings that I do in these weekly tips and in this video here, these are purely pretty much to show you kind of my process and also for me to understand these animals and how I approach drawing them. Um, Hopefully you can apply your drawing techniques to understand these animals. It's always fun understanding little animals, and I notice some of the differences in my drawing skills these days from understanding different kinds of animals. I can now apply different animal body shapes and just draw out of the blue different interesting characters that are similar to otters or similar to um, maybe wetters, all sorts of uh, animals that I have covered in my time of doing these weekly tips. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know down below if you've seen these guys at zoos, if you've drawn them before, anything you'd like to share about otters or about my weekly tips in general. And keep drawing, keep creating, and see you in the next video.